Yeah, listen up, we got a story to tell about the BMD Indigenous podcast you can't repel. Celebrating culture, spread love and respect for Native American viewers, we gon' connect. They bringing the truth, nothing but authenticity. Highlight traditions with utmost positivity. Powwow for language that keep it real. Every episode we learn something new, it's a big deal. B&B Indigenous Podcast, spreading love and knowledge for Native American viewers. They got nothing but homage, so tune in, listen up, feel the native vibes, get connected with the culture, let it come alive. Yeah.
Oh, just like that, dude. Oh, wait, where'd you go? No, stop it. We're playing it again. The technical difficulties. Okay, we are back in action. And Pat, you got your microphone on, man. It's good to see you, dude. I'm serious.
Oh, man, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. I'm sorry for the hiatus.
It's
Had a
all
lot
right.
going on this last year, and, you know, I'm back in the powwow circuit. I'm back out there again, feeling good, and it's just good to be back live talking about Indigenous stuff.
Yeah, dude, I got 9 bustles in my house now. I got one of my sisters in the community hooked me up with a bunch of turkey tails. And all of a sudden I started thinking about they're called royal pom toms. And they're dope. They're like they're the black tips on the feathers, just like the eagle feathers are, the golden eagles, but they're all white on the bottom. I want 3 sets. That's all I want, because I want to make a round bustle set out of royal pom toms. Regular tom turkeys look dope too, but
Right.
black and white.
Porter's turkeys.
Oh yeah.
Porter's turkeys. He does Porter's heritage turkeys.
The homeboy Brian George out in Yakima Valley. He gave me he told me the secret. He's like, I don't tell anybody. I'm like, I ain't gonna give your secret away, I swear to God. But he gave me an inside net too, like, because I really want to add a lot more decor. Plus, for whatever reason, for me, this is just my thought. I want to make bustles for kids for free. I ain't charging the kids, man. The adults, hell yeah, I'll charge you all day long, buddy. But when it comes to the kids getting out on the floor and kicking ass, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can already see. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Staquia
Ratni Haha.
Rodney, haha, yeah. Our baby's got native names, dog.
Oh man, in my language, in Skaore or Tuscarora, it's Eagle Boy.
Yeah.
And, he's man. Last time I've been on here, I have had a baby boy. I've gotten married. Moved down in Virginia. Got a house down in Virginia. I'm doing real good.
Yeah,
I'm feeling blessed. Family's doing great. Just, it's Sky Woman creators out there just moving mountains for me. And, dude, I'm just happy to be back out here.
Dude, I've seen that. You know that, what is that movie called? It's Gary Farmer and late Uncle John Trudell. Dreamkeepers.
Dreamkeeper, yeah.
Sky Woman, remember? She showed up and it was the birds flying by. You can see her face. Yeah. I'm like, oh, dude, that's so dope.
she's the key of our creation story of Haudenosaunee people.
Yeah. And I you've seen my Dog Soldier comics, like thoughts. Yeah, right. I just like my Powwow Life magazine, dude. I wanna be able to have this native media enterprise here in the so-called United States. Canada, we're seeing the Junos the other day, seeing those guys, Tia Wood on stage singing. Her sisters were up there representing, you know what I mean? Northern Cree was jamming out. Man, it was so awesome. But this media representation across the lower half or the center portion of North America, I think that's one of the things that's really missing. I want to see change. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Before we go any further, I want to give some love and respect to the young girl that that we just laid to rest, another missing Indigenous woman.
Yeah.
And I was always raised after someone's laid to rest, we don't speak her name. So I'm not going to speak her name. But we know if you know, then you know. This missing Indigenous epidemic is going crazy, and another young person has crossed over too early. So a lot of love and respect out to the family members that are grieving. The speaking of, I guess it really hits home. My sister, Little Snowbird, she's from Yurok tribe. She's out here and she does presentations of missing Indigenous women.
Yeah.
And this past weekend at Penn State Powwow, which we were at, she was giving a presentation about missing Indigenous women. And I have a 5-year-old little girl, I have an 8-year-old little girl, and it's Taquia now. And after it was over, we walked back, and my 5-year-old is just sobbing, just sobbing, just over emotionally sobbing. And I went over and like, what's going on? And she looks at me with all these tears in her eyes. She goes, "Daddy, please don't let that happen to me. Please don't let that happen to me." And I just lost it. I just fell apart. That this is the life and the day that our children have to live in. That it's scary, man. So I just want to I know a lot of people are grieving, distant family, friends and family. If you're Indigenous and you're part of the community, we're all grieving together for this young lady over, and it's a tragic loss.
Well, and man, and the fact of the matter, Pat, I'm going to say this right now. This is why I love you. Because I see when things happen like this, that you're one of the first people. You're like me in that respect. You say, hey, I'm going to say it like, pardon my language, man, F that, bro. You know what I'm saying? We've carried all of these ways of doing things, whether at powwow or at ceremony, from like in the arbor of a Sundance, you don't wear short sleeve or tank tops or any of those things like that. You don't wear halter tops. Modesty is the number one theme when it comes to representing yourself down at the arbor like that, or anywhere in that camp. And that's just the old school protocols.
Now, man, I mean, we don't have protocols anymore. Protocols, they really go out the window. And I'm learning that more and more. This week has been like, I stepped away from the powwow. I didn't feel like I didn't feel it anymore. I stepped away, I put my outfit away, and I was like, I don't feel it. So I just showed up powwow just to socialize, bring my kids, let them work on their dancing. So I haven't really been, I would say, emotionally been present at powwows over the last couple of years. And man, this weekend I was very much present, and I started noticing some things. Just you call me Indian police, you call me a whiner, all you want, but man, the respect level that we have for each other has gone. I mean, I seen at the powwow I was at, this powwow was an amazing powwow, and I have the elder of the powwow. He was up speaking, and you should see how everybody else is talking over him. They were laughing. Kids are running around. He was trying to talk about an honoring. He wanted to put an honoring on, and how many people right near him, just overtalk him, drown him out.
Yeah.
Screaming to the microphone. It was the same issue with Little Snowbird. Little Snowbird gets on the microphone. She talks about missing Indigenous women.
Yeah,
man, the amount of men that stayed on that just kept talking over her during her red dress special. How many men stayed in their seat? It sickens me, man. It does, because as a father, as a parent, we're supposed to be the example we set for our kids.
Yeah,
we're supposed to be that example, and to see the amount of disrespect we have for. I mean, I remember I was a kid. I was at powwow. I was about 8 years old. Chat with my friend, and they were doing a veteran special. And I was over talking, and my grandpa grabbed me by the head of the hair and snatched me up and told me, "You do not disrespect our veterans that are going out there. You do not talk." And my grandpa was a singer, and when he was on that drum, just because his drum wasn't singing, if his drum wasn't singing the song, he was standing. And I try to live the same way. I'm pretty sure people could say, "Well, I've seen you sit down." I probably missed it, but I try my best to live by what I'm speaking and teach my daughters and my kids the same thing. But man, the level of disrespect I'm starting to see blows me away. And I guess what bothers me is powwow, we invite non-natives in a powwow, right? We want them to see what we do and how we do it. But what they see is how we treat each other, and then we expect them to treat us differently. If we're not treating each other with respect, how can we expect them to treat us with respect? That's my question.
Oh, well, that's just it. This whole entire modernized whatever has infiltrated every last living and breathing aspect of the Native identity. And this is what I say. This is modern day colonialism at its finest. And people can say, no, it's not. You're just living in the past. It's like, no, bro, it's the past that defines us in the future. I'm the living embodiment of my ancestors. I am the living embodiment of my ancestors, and I'm going to stand up for those rules and procedures, no matter how many people in my family want to argue with me about this, or, you know, holding people to account in our tribal government or whatever. I was even arguing with my counselor today. I'm like, yo, guy, I said, how much abuse do people have to tolerate before they have said they snap, and that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? Like the Punisher, bro, is a prime example. Now, this is albeit it's a comic book story, but they did some really evil stuff to him, and he unloads on this organization within, you know, this city or wherever he was living, you know, that took out his family, right? He said, no, that's it. And he in that movie, he does what he needs to do. He unleashes vengeance. I'm not saying that that's how we should handle every problem in our lives, but there's a reason why those things they exist. For instance, I talk about the dog soldiers. I claim that society for myself as a warrior, right? And I'm not saying that's for everybody either. I'm just saying, like, for a man in the Native community to not stand up to a child molester or a rapist or a woman beater or any of those people, I want those people to be afraid of me, brother. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
I just see my sister post a conversation she had with a gentleman that reached out to her, and it was the most disgusting. It made me kind of ashamed to be a man sometimes, because they share the same gender with some of these fools, and how he was going after her. And I'm like, and what made me angrier is the other men came to his defense. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? There is no defense for that. Yeah, you can be your buddy, you can be your friend, but there's a time you have to reach out to your buddy. Like, hey, you need to shut up, bro. You need, bro. Hey, I'm telling you, you need to shut up, because you're trying to walk a line and I can't back you. And we don't do that with one another. I mean, if I'm out of line, I would hope one of my brothers pull me to the side and say, hey, dude, you need to straighten the hell up. This ain't right. What you're doing is wrong. This is disrespectful. Man, pull me to the side. And to show me you love me by pulling me to the side. Because maybe I'm doing something I don't realize I'm doing. Maybe I'm conducting myself in a way I shouldn't be conducting myself. And you're helping me out. That's real love. That's real, true love, because you don't want me to get embarrassed. You don't want me to get called out. You don't want me to be in trouble. That's true love.
That's right.
I don't know where this new age thinking is. The powwow is not ours, and people don't know it. We borrow powwow from our ancestors, from our people that did it before us.
That's
and
right.
We are changing stuff so fast that we're losing the memory of what they put in order for a certain reason. Right. There's reasons these protocols and these understandings of with each other are important to get across. Like, hey, this is what we got to do.
Right. Well, and then you, like you said, when your daughter's coming up to you crying because she's living in fear that she doesn't want something to happen to her in the same or similar fashion, completely understandable, dude. You know what I mean? My daughter's not yet 3. May 8th this year, she'll be 3. That's my responsibility to be like, yo, man, you know, and that comes for all people. That's my dad used to say, all comers. I take all comers. I'm like, all right. And to me, that doing what we should be doing and calling those things out when we see them, that's something that I'm trying to bring back. And it's really difficult because so many people have this sense of entitlement anymore, thinking that somehow somebody owes them something. I'm like, dude, and that's when I start getting pissed off. That's when I start cussing around.
I don't understand where the word I and me came from so much, man. When I was in Dutch childhood, I don't remember the word I and me being used so much within the indigenous community.
That's right.
It used to be, hey, what can we do for you? How can we help you?
Yeah, us, brother.
You know, we go to the powwow together. We are hungry. We are full.
Yeah.
This I and me personality is coming out of the new age of the indigenous communities blows my mind. And I think it comes from the disconnect like our elders don't want to pass on the knowledge anymore because no one's listening. They're tired of passing it on. Our women are getting drowned out by the majority instead of the minority, saying, "Hey, we have a loud voice. We feel scared. We need to be protected." I'm working on an outfit to honor the missing Indigenous women as we speak, and it's not for show. It's not for me to go out there and get glamorified for. I will be wearing it when it's all finished. I will be wearing it for certain occasions and certain occasions only.
Yeah.
You know, because man, it just blows my mind how, and I think it's also the internet also has made us into movie stars or stars in our heads.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know,
What are you talking about, the vanity?
I can say what I want to say since I'm behind a screen. You know what I mean? There's no consequences to my
keyboard
action.
warrior in full effect.
I'm telling you, Ron, it is. I mean, I'm not trying to make our whole show negative. There's been some great things that happen, you know.
Yeah.
There's other negative things we could talk about. How Trump just pardoned a dude that took the Lakota Nation for $90 million, swindled $90 million. He was in jail, and Trump just pardoned in his ass. So we can talk about that, or we can talk for the fact that HSS is in the worst conditions it's ever been, with the government now trying to shut down Indian Health Services.
Yeah, you know? IHS and even more so, we've got to talk about these things. As much as people don't want to talk about the negative, bro, I'm sorry, but they need to be talked about, because as far as I'm concerned, the Indigenous perspective on this situation, especially with regard to our veterans, the fact that Canada just broke their military contract with the United States after, 100 years? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, no disrespect. Like I said, you know my stance as somebody that represents the American Indian movement. But still, my brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles, my nieces and nephews, those that have gone overseas and fought in combat, such as people like yourself and others in our Native community, they need to have that protection, bro. When the stories that you told me about, you know, the fear, the suicide attempt, the other stuff that you dealt with, I'm sorry, but all of those people in that category coming home to a country, especially like Vietnam era veterans, they were hated, bro. They came back and people hated them, and they were committing suicide in mass, bro. They were,
yes, it was.
They were addicted to, like, you would not believe, most of the shit that they got, they were getting overseas anyway. And then of course they come back and they got this monkey on their back. And then of course all the other, what do they call it? Well, before it was post-traumatic stress disorder, was shell shock.
Shell shock before PTSD, it was shell shock. And I was lucky, man, to come up in the age where we had treatments.
Yeah.
You know, getting therapy isn't such a taboo anymore.
No.
I mean, I'm a proud therapy user. You know, I get therapy every week for my PTSD.
Right.
It's pretty severe. You know, I've raked the bottoms of the. I told somebody, a gentleman that was a buddy of mine that's going through a hard time. I said, buddy, you ever talk to me? I have scraped the bottom of the barrels. I've been married. I've been widowed, remarried. I mean,
right.
You know, shot blown up.
Did you ever pull a cigarette butts out of an ashtray? You know, because you were such a smoking. My dad told me too. He's like, son, God damn it, why do you keep doing that? I'm like, what? I seen you do it. He's like, yeah. But then I started realizing people got herpes and stuff. Like, that's a true risk, my friend.
So, you know, I'm sorry I've been away. I do have a lot to talk about. We ain't gonna be able to cover everything tonight.
No, we're just jumping on into our thing, man.
I got daddy duties with my 3-month-old.
I know.
I know. You know, we're in the stages now where I'm starting to sing to him a little bit and you know, get him used to the water drum. We were at Penn. I want to put a huge spotlight on Penn State Powwow with John Sanchez. It's such a great event out here in Penn State.
Right.
It happens every year. This year was the 19th year Penn State. And it's an old school traditional powwow. There is no competition money, but what they do is something a lot of powwows don't do. Everybody that comes to dance gets money. He makes sure John Sanchez puts money in everybody's pocket. If you come to dance, he wants to make sure you make it home and eat. He feeds everybody. There's a full feed for Saturday and Sunday. He makes sure everybody that dances gets a little pocket money to go home with. It is an old school style powwow, and he does it with such, the way he does it, I just love it. I mean, I totally recommend, if you're looking for a powwow here on the East Coast, Penn State is one of those that he's White Mountain. I think he's White Mountain Apache or the other Apache.
Hickory or San Carlos Apache, maybe.
San Carlos. He's San Carlos Apache, and he does it old school. He's got a good MC. Guy Jones comes out and MCs.
Right.
Very informative. Guys like, guy's been around. Old AIM guy as well. Guy Jones is the old AIM guy as well. Does things old school.
All the AIMsters are my peeps, man. Doesn't matter where they're at either. They could be in Minneapolis. They could be in San Francisco. They could be Oakland. You know what I mean? Portland, Seattle. Matter of fact, they were talking about the Chief Seattle Club, and then of course the Daybreak Star Community Center up there in Seattle, and how all of these things are all connected. Like when Uncle Leonard was released from the penitentiary after 50 years, right? He was talking about that a while back, and then he was talking about it again. It's like, and it's so crazy how closely related all of these organizations throughout the whole of the continent are. I mean, even when the protest was going on down there in Alcatraz, when they were, when they took over Alcatraz Island, as a matter of fact, that's where one of my bros was created on Alcatraz Island. It's like, you were created on a prison island? That's pretty awesome.
Hey, am I frozen on your screen, or am I still good?
No, you're frozen a little bit, but let's see. I think it'll just clear itself up here in a second. Is it your connection?
I think it's my connection. I minimize the screen, and
let's go like this. I'm going to remove, and then I'm going to add you back.
Okay.
Let's see. Try it again, Pat. I'm not really sure. Well, we've got you on there. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, my computer just froze for some reason. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You know what? If you want to try the refresh button, even if you disappear for a second, that's okay. And then I'll just, like I said, add you back. Yeah, we're dealing with it. We're getting the bugs out right now. That's what everything's going on. And I know that he's got the link, until we get the studio set up to where we actually have, he can actually have access to all the controls too. That's the way we kind of like to do it. We've got all the cool little screens and everything like that. And, but that's the part of the thing about working out the kinks, you know what I mean? But it's really awesome. I'm glad to see people jumping on. Hey, if you guys are interested in advertising your tribal business, we want to encourage you at the B&B Indigenous Podcast to do that. Don't be afraid. If you know anybody in your family that's dealing with any stories or something like that, hey, check it out. Bam! See what I mean, dude? It's just simple stuff like that. We kind of panic. I'm like, what am I going to, I see, you notice how I didn't cuss, but I still made it sound like I did, right?
I hear you.
See, you don't even have to say it. You can just, I'm tired of this. Hey, you guys want to censor your kids? Just teach them how to say it like that.
I remember growing up as a kid, like, son of a biscuit eater.
Yeah. That's just the way to do it, man.
But yeah, man, I'm ready to start doing this regularly again and get us back on our time schedule and start kicking this off. And I missed it, definitely.
I know.
I had so much going on over here that I just had to back away for a little bit. I'm ready to come back on our podcast. I've had a couple people reach out to me and tell me we missed it. They missed it. They want us to go back on. So let's get this thing.
It's so weird, man. Like I don't know if I think it might be the AI and the algorithm for my Facebook, or maybe I just piss people off that bad. I get like 3 or 4. I used to get like 100 people that would come on and listen to stuff that I was saying. But a lot of the times now I feel like, and I don't know, I could be wrong. I could just be rubbing people the wrong way. Realistically, more than anything, I want to provide good information for the Native community. I want to share news and content that's related specifically to us. I want to talk about stories of injustice. I want to talk about success stories. I was saying the other day, and today, as a matter of fact, another thing I had brought up with my counseling professional. He's actually a great guy. And I'm like, one of the problems I think I have in this world, and the reason why I feel like I might rub people the wrong way, is Well, I know he'll come back on again. Oh, there he is again. See what I mean? Bam. Just like that.
I wanted just I had to log in. I wanted to stream this to my page as well.
Oh, yeah. Are you able to put it up on your, did you get it shared to your page, Pat?
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, hey, so as I was saying, I was upset, and I think that we discussed this on previous podcasts before. So everybody was mad at Energy Transfer Partners when they came to Bismarck, Mandan, North Dakota, and they told the community there in the city that they were going to build that pipeline, and everybody complained about it. Then under a year later, they said, well, we'll just shift it south from there, and then we'll put it on the hands of the natives. And then guess what happens? 40,000 people show up, and like literally like twice the size of the population of Bismarck, Mandan. That's how many people were at Standing Rock. Everybody's mad at the oil corporations. They're mad at digging up the grave sites and the sites of their treaty, the Standing Rock, you know what I'm saying? Turtle Island, the Cannonball and the Missouri rivers, and so on and so forth. I am still to this moment pissed off. Like, why is it that we don't have native science engineers? Why don't we have native inventors? Why don't we have people in our native communities that are encouraging our young people to go to college or go to some sort of vocational training program or just learn the sciences, and we make superior technology to free ourselves from everything that they do to keep us under thumb? You growing your food, you getting chickens, talking about eggs, and everybody's pissed off at the egg prices, bro. Yeah, you're right. I am totally there with you. Why is it that we have to struggle and not get a damn community garden going, or a hydroponics?
I'm going to tell you why. And it's simple. Native people, we have this poor mentality. If you get a poor mentality, it's all about money now and what money can do. It's no longer, we don't look towards the future. We just look for the here and now.
Yeah.
So, I've done, there's been tribes that were working on getting federal recognition and what they were going to do with the money. And I was able to sit in and talk or just give my advice. And I was like pushing like agriculture. Let's do aquaponics, solar, wind, anything like that. And then it was always casino. Hey, we need to get a casino in here. It's all about that quick money. Bring him here, Cheyenne.
Yeah, bring him over. Oh, yeah, let him sing his song on camera, Dad.
Just bring him out of his car seat. Bring him in.
Oh, there's the sticker.
He's missing Daddy.
Uncle gets some interaction time anyway. This is pivotal in my life at the moment, folks. Yep, I'm missing my baby too. I think good things are happening. I'm manifesting.
Let me tell you what, I have learned something. Having a baby in your 40s ain't like having a baby in your 20s.
Hold on. No, I'm just kidding.
He has tested my age. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for my wife, man, I look at her sometimes and she just laughs at me. She's like, he wears you out, don't you? Don't he? He's only 3 months old. Wait, he walking, and she looks at me and smiles. Because she takes it with stride. She takes the baby stride, no problem. She's a great mom. But me, I can have a day with him, which he's a pretty
sandpaper underwear.
He's a super easy baby, like super easy, laid back, sleeps through most of the night. Not a big fusser. Only when he's hungry. I mean, at powwow, he's like, of course, I take him to powwow. I think the first day at powwow, he spent maybe 10 minutes in the car seat. Every one of my sisters out there passed him around like the flu.
Of course.
But he's easy. But
dude, you wait till he starts dancing, dude. He's gonna.
I am so stoked. Ashley made him a Haudenosaunee outfit with with the wampum belt. I mean, I want the flag on it. I made his first Castoa, and it just, I ain't gonna lie, I was in tears just to see my boy out there.
It's the fathering thing, man. You remember my daughter being on the podcast with us and her sitting there. You remember how content she was. I think that's just Indian babies in general who are, raised in a loving environment where they're, you can just feel that goodness in the house. Native parents, I encourage you to do this. Me and Patrick Little Wolf Brooks, my brother from another mother, encourage you to bring that healthy environment to your house. And it shows. I held my girl.
I am the proof that the past does not need to hang on to you.
That's
you can be the father that you wanted. You can be the grandfather you wanted. You can be the mother that you wanted. You don't not have to follow in the footsteps of the ones that came before you. You can break those chains that they were dealing with, that sorrow they were hanging on, to show your kids there's another way, man. I'm definitely on that path. And my daughters tell me, I have a 25-year-old and a 20-year-old here. And
I know
they said, Dad, you're so much different now. So what do you mean? He goes, Dad, you're so much different now. Because I'm a bit easier on the girls. I'm more about conversation. I don't do the yelling thing anymore, really. I'm more about, certain ways because, and I think I say I love you more than I've ever had before in my life now.
Right.
I show that affection. I want my daughters to know it's okay for my dad. My dad hugs me, kisses me, and he has no problem showing that affection for us.
That's what I'm saying too, man, is that emotional maturity is starting to win out. Especially when we get to our 40s, not so much in the early 40s, but by that time we hit the cusp of 45, it seems like all of a sudden it's like, boom, a gut punch. Oh. Now all of a sudden, dude, I'm crying. I'm like, how the hell am I crying at movies? What the hell is this? And I'm sitting there talking. I remember my dad doing the same stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing, guy? He was like, shut up. I'm like, what? I was just noticing your emotions. It's beautiful, I was saying, but don't cop an attitude, pal.
My wife actually gets a trip out of me because she'll see me choke up fast.
Yeah.
She'll see me choke up, her tough Army guy, everything I've been through. And she's like, I'll break down faster than anybody. I got no shame in it. It is who I am. And I love who I am. I love my daughter seeing that vulnerability in me. Yeah. Even when my 5-year-old wrapped her arms around me, she said, Daddy, please don't let that happen to me. I melted. I just absolutely, there was no toughness left in me. I melted. No father wants to hear his daughter, especially at 5 years old, look up at her with his beautiful eyes and goes, please, Daddy, don't let that happen to me. Yeah. Man, let me tell you what, I can't sit here and tell you what I would and would not do.
Right.
But there'd be only two places for me. I'd be in a grave or in prison.
That's right. I'm not afraid of wearing a jumpsuit with stripes or, prison blues or whatever it is to protect those that I love. Absolutely.
So I know I hurt some people's feelings. I pissed some people off at the powwow because I took the mic from my sister and I really dug into people's asses. I held people accountable. Like, listen, and I learned something that the Native community has adopted, this colonial mindset of, if it didn't affect me, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
That was never an indigenous trait. Never an indigenous trait. It's now that trait have taken hold within the community. So the only people you see listening are people that, that their daughters, their nieces, their aunts, their closest friends are the ones that were abducted, were raped and murdered. But if you haven't touched, it's sort of like, and I learned this with cancer, that the people that loved me and showed me the most care when we were handling the cancer were the people that were directly affected by cancer in some way. People that weren't affected by cancer, it was like I'm sorry for your difficult time. They didn't have that same compassion, and that was never a Native trait. We used to hurt together. We used to cry together. When one of us fail, all of us fail. So, and I hope that time changes. So what I've seen at the powwow, what I've seen at a few powwows, the open disrespect for the women to speak. I mean, here in the East Coast, man, we're just not. I mean, I can't speak for the West. People are having problems. I'm starting to read problems. People having problems with women veterans holding down head vet positions. That's not a woman's job. If she put that damn uniform, she put the fucking boots on, it's her position.
That's right. And who the hell is a man to judge a woman anyway? That's the worst of the colonial mindsets, brother.
I'm telling you, my time in service, I have seen some badass women.
Dude.
The women that pulled me out of the fire before the military. Being Haudenosaunee, being matrilineal, some of the toughest women on this earth are our women, and they are nasty, wicked soldiers. Let me tell you what, I have seen some brawls where these women do not play, and they will put you down quick, fast, in a hurry. And if
You
we don't
see that
show that
Facebook
respect,
video? You see
yeah,
that Facebook video, homegirl? She was like, I mean, she was probably like 5'8", 5'9", or something like that, but she took off her shirt, bro. She had a bra on like that, but she walked up on, she knuckled up on old boy, and I mean, she beat the snot out of that dude, man. And then homeboy turns around, he's like, hey, she's like, what, you want some too? He's like, no. That's because she grew up with brothers. That's what that was.
I was just making sure you're okay. I'm just making sure.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying, baby girl? Don't start.
That's it, man. And that's how I feel about stuff. It's for me. We need to find a level of respect again amongst each other. A level. I mean, I read another post which was disgusting. I'm not going to repeat it but it was about an incident with a drum group that really took advantage of a young girl, and they were bragging about it. Well, I don't say there. One person that was posting it was bragging about what they did to this young girl. Man, it was like, as a dad of daughters, man, if I had read that and found out my daughter was violated that way, let me tell you what, that drum wouldn't be living. I'm sorry, it wouldn't be living. And he, oh my goodness, I've been on drums. I've been part of drums.
Yeah.
I have been fortunate enough to have good leadership on drums that really guided us in the right way. So I haven't been in the worst circumstances, but I've heard stories. I have witnessed some horrific things that I've personally tried to put a pin in, or somebody, I've watched other people try to put a pin in, trying to stop this kind of stuff. But to know our women, there's women can't be trusted about our own people, man. It's sad because I remember when a powwow was the safest place you can take your child.
That's the part about it. And we never even got a chance to talk about that murder that happened out there in Pine Ridge. Now I feel like there's enough time between that event to, I'm sorry for my expression, and I hope, the young people are guided. What in the hell, right?
Yeah.
What in the hell?
Language, everybody. I get a little upset.
Yeah, no, and we all do, Patrick. But but what I'm talking about, man, is that are we going to start addressing these things for real? Like, I'm the type of person, if I'm at a powwow and I see something that I know to be absolutely unnecessary or unwarranted, I am the first person to say something. I walked around my community for the longest time. I'm like, people selling cedar and sage and sweetgrass. I'm like, yo, bro, we don't sell those things. And it even got me in trouble in my own community by elders that were the ones that told me to carry that pathway to begin with. I'm like, don't come up and try to turf thug and regulate on me when I'm doing what you told me to do.
Here on the East Coast, man, it's running rampant over here too, man. You got people selling medicines.
Yeah. Selling pipe ceremonies and stuff, dude. It goes deep, bro.
I understand everybody needs funds, and it costs to go out and cut sweetgrass and braid sweetgrass, and it takes time.
Totally, man.
But the thing about it is, I was always taught you did that stuff out of love. That was your penance. That was your giving. When you go out there and you're out there and your hands are dry and they're cut up with the sweetgrass and you're trying to braid sweetgrass and you got all whatever. And I remember my auntie
weaving bear grass and cutting your fingers like little slices all the way up and down them things.
It was sort of like your ceremony to do that kind of stuff. And when someone says they needed it, you gave it. Like, oh man, you got ceremony. I'm so blessed to have elders in my life that I say, I got ceremony coming up. And they'll say, don't worry, send me your address and I'll get a box of like
whatever you can get it to throw it in there, baby.
Yeah, and that's how they do it. And I'm starting to see this cultural change within our community. Now, I sound like an old man. I know times are going to change. I get it. But the foundation of what we are and who we are as a people are not supposed to change.
We're not compromising with those things.
No, man, not at all, man. There's certain things that not supposed to change. Our children are supposed to always feel safe around each other.
Yeah.
Our women should know for a fact if they at powwow and somebody grabs hold of them, that they should have 9 Native men whipping the living hell out of them. Well, you know what I mean? I posted the other day. I said I miss mean MCs.
Yeah. Hey, I want to stop you for 1 second, buddy. Okay.
All right.
I want to send a shout out to everybody that's watching. We got a bunch of people commenting, and I'm like, where did everybody go? And it's funny because I think the comments are going to show up on my live stream comment section, and I don't know if I had connected those yet, but I'm trying to figure out if I can get on here. Brian, I know Brian Strive's on there, brother Brian.
I give a big shout out to my auntie Deborah. I got this hat from her booth. She does a ton, her and her family, Mohawk Nation out there. They do a ton of Haudenosaunee stuff. One thing I love, I'm starting to see more of Haudenosaunee stuff. People here on the East Coast that are Haudenosaunee are starting to represent our designs, our brands, and it's so good to see. And she's just,
it looks sick too, dude.
She's working on my wife's dress, and I'm excited.
Hey, ask her if she can make me a Haudenosaunee cousin, and like the Cuzzint cousin. Hey, that's my Haudenosaunee cousin right there.
That's it, Dad. She's on here. She's a hey Pat, love your. She wrote on things that hey Pat, I love your hat.
I can't read the comments.
She did. Elizabeth, she's a good friend of mine out there up in the cold north. She said, hey, it's been a while since I watched the podcast. Hope is all with both of you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Brian, a good friend of mine, Brian down there, his wife is
Comanche.
I think Comanche. Brian's wife is
Comanche. Sally is
and Brian, if you look at his skin, he's about as white as they come. But man, if you talk to him, that dude
totally is.
He's native. I told him he always says, "I'm a white man." I said, "Nah, dude, you native."
Yeah, no, he don't. Here's the thing, folks. There's a difference between. I'm going to break this down right now. There's a difference between a pretendian and somebody who is raised in the ways. I have uncles that are not native by DNA, but no one in their right mind better challenge their connection to our family because they are natives to me. They support our ceremonies. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk smack for all these people that were busting down on Buffy Sainte-Marie and all that. Well, you didn't say anything 40 years ago or 50 years ago when she first started out on that platform. And at that time, she was literally one of the only people that was fronting for Native social justice issues, whether or not she's a white woman and she was pretending to be Native, whatever. I'm saying she stood up for our community, and that is what I remember too. Everywhere she went, man, she was respectful. She was, she had dignity. She did all those things. Now, yes, I don't think it's right that somebody claims something that they're not at all. But when you are raised that way, like I told my brother Brian when I was down there in San Antonio, Quanah Parker's mother, Sarah Parker, she was, or excuse me, not Sarah. I said Sarah. I was thinking Sarah Winnemucca. My apologies. Cynthia Ann Parker. The mother of Quanah Parker was a full-blooded white woman, but she was raised on the Comanche Nation with those people, and she was kidnapped back by the white government 3 times. Well, and she committed suicide because she was like, "I'm Comanche, bro. You're not telling me I'm not going back. I'm not living here."
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Okay. I've heard conflicting stories from her family and how she really was raised and how she says she was raised. And Native people, I've learned about Native people. One thing I love about it, we don't like to be lied to. If you tell one lie, Native people start digging in on you. And that's what happened is when this lie started coming out. And I don't think Native people, if she would have came out earlier in the beginning, goes, listen, I'm not Native. I stand with Native people. I wrote these songs in honor of Native people. But she accepted all those awards, all those other Native people that could have got awards in their stead. She accepted those awards under the disguise of being Indigenous. And that's where a lot of people have a lot of issues. That's where a lot of people have problems with her, is that she took awards that should have went to Indigenous people that were written and designed for Native people. Did she do great? Did she bring great messages for Native people? Absolutely.
Sure.
All of us rocked her stuff. All of us supported her. I mean, my grandmother had Buffy Sainte-Marie stuff. We had a shirt with Buffy Sainte-Marie. All of us supported her. The problem is Native people, I think, when you have so many years of deceit and lies, that the littlest lie to everybody else feels like the biggest lie to us. If you understand, don't meet your heroes. Never meet your heroes. It's sort of the same thing. I mean, people looked up to her for years thinking that she was Indigenous because that's what she told everybody. She was Indigenous.
You feel betrayed. I totally
Yeah.
understand that. I think what I wanted to do more than anything, and this is not, I'm not backpedaling. I just wanted to play some devil's advocate for this situation. The only reason I do that is because it is a very, very on the fence kind of an issue. When you have people that are sincere in our Native community that come there that don't pretend to be something that they're not, but still honor those obligations and commitments that we make, whether that's in the smokehouse or the feather dance house or the longhouse over there in Haudenosaunee territory, or the jump dance or the brush dance, wherever you may be having ceremony. You know what I mean? There's all those ways. Some people come with the utmost respect and consideration for life, for the kids, for the elders, for the historical traumas that were, suffered through our communities and what still lingers in our communities. Those are the people that I'm talking about that I really want to say, hey, I'm not trying to exclude them. We need more allies. In this.
That's what they all about Brian. Brian, when I met Brian through Facebook, and Brian reached out to me, and his first message was hilarious. He goes, listen, I'm a white man.
Yeah.
And I have no problem admitting it. I'm a white man. But
we're talking about you, Brian.
Yeah, my wife is this, and I support her. I don't ask to join. I get invited to join. There's a difference.
That's right.
I never asked to join. I get invited to join. And that's the difference between people that are going, oh, I love Native people. I want to be like y'all. And then people go, I respect and honor you. I'm going to stand back here. If you need me, I'm here for you. I'm here to help. And that's exactly what kind of person Brian is. I mean, I've seen him, and he does amazing regalia. His beadwork,
his fan work, his beadwork's dope, bro. I being in their house. I want to say thank you to Brian and Sally, first of all, for opening up their home. When I was driving through on a commercial truck, man, I came all the way from Florida into San Antonio, and I called them up. I was like, hey, man, I'm finally down here. They're like, all right. You know what I mean? They took me to this restaurant called Puffy Taco. It is amazing, bro. Good. So they brought their boys, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, Zeke and Mo were chilling with, and I'm, here I am, just somebody random that they had just met, you know what I mean? But I felt like I was with family. San Antonio is one of those towns too in Texas that feels like a Northwest town for whatever reason. Like, it's still Texas. They still got the Alamo down there, and the people still talking like this, and you know what I mean? But like there's so much to do. Oh, we went to go see the Young Dubliners. That was an amazing Irish rock group, but they do like Celtic inspired rock infusion.
I hate to cut you off. I got about 10 more minutes left of free time. My wife just gave me the eye. She's me and her share my laptop, my computer space. She is a proud college student. And she's got some anxiety. She's looking at me like, hey, I know. And
I'm the same way. I got homework to do. I told everybody earlier I was doing the same thing. So what I want to do is I want to make it so that when, we're not walking over everybody. We're not, we're able to do this kind of more or less like, hey, let's get on and do this. It doesn't have to necessarily start off where we're on a schedule right away. We're easing back into this thing.
I'm ready for a schedule. I finally I'm in a place in my life that I can actually sit down and start doing this stuff and do my research again and get out there and do it. I will be doing a couple more powwows. I'm going to start posting our powwows here on our page. I got Lenape coming up in June. That's going to be a great event. Lenape powwow is always fantastic. In Richmond, New Jersey. Chief Uray's people down there. It's a fantastic time.
So I gave a teepee away yesterday because I do them in spot checks. I gave this one away right here. I know.
Dude, you did such a good job. Do you still put lights in them?
It's still got the light. This one does. I got to put a light in here, but here's your candle, right? Boom.
That's the
lights up. Boop, and there it is. And look, it's flickering like the camp. Cool. So that one's ready to go. Teresa Hudson won that one yesterday. But the spot check, the virtual spot check is what it is. What I want to do here soon is I'm going to start, like I said, I'm going to start gleaning resources from coupons and people making donations to the B&B Indigenous podcast so we can advertise their raffle. You guys got stuff going on like that? You're raffling a kid's grass dance outfit or something cool like that, or a hand drum or whatever. We want to,
Yo, Fabian! Fabian! Man, he came back to see us again.
Yeah, Fabes. Hell yeah, man. He's been singing some jams, dude. Him and the Neffs.
Dude, I'm telling you. I'm trying to get some more of you guys out here on the East Coast.
Well, any of you, I'm like, you know this, and anybody knows me knows I'm a Portland Trailblazers fan. But I said the last time I was online that I had respect for Kobe Bryant for the level of game that he brought, especially when it come to like getting on Jordan. I was telling him how, Jordan tried being a jerk, even though they had a good relationship for the most part. Kobe got pissed off, bro.
Jordan was a competitor.
And he was a competitor, but Kobe was a beast, bro, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sorry. I love Kobe, but I'll always stick with Jordan. That's just my thing.
I get it. I'm a Clyde Drexler kid until the day I die. That's all there is to it.
I'm a Jordan guy. It's just one of those things that I don't think I can ever change. I don't think I ever change. Okay, how many championships LeBron wins or not? I'm just always going to be a Jordan.
I'm not a Lakers fan, but these are Laker colors, I said. And it even has a tag that I have to put back on it. I titled the name of this lodge the Black Mamba.
You got to start doing some, and you got to start making some long houses that way.
I've got your longhouse sitting over here. I even have the one, like I said. I'm just waiting for somebody. I'm a broke college student. Hey, Ashley Christine, you understand this. She's like, yep. This is school. I'm broke. You know what I mean? Well, not all the time. When disbursements come in, I pay bills, and then I'm broke again. So,
well, I'm gonna have to get on off here. Let her have the computer where she can get her schoolwork done.
I got you.
She is working so hard, and I mean, she's killing school right now. Absolutely fantastic. Fabian said, make one that's got Haskell colors.
Haskell colors, it is. I could do that.
Yeah.
You mean purple and yellow, like Haskell? Ruben Littlehead Sr., he's got a Haskell jersey, number 23. So, hey, I want to say maybe Saturday, we'll come back on Saturday. Let's go during the daytime. You know what I mean?
All right. Sounds good to me. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that supported me through our venture. This has been a big year for me and my little family. We are in a good place, and Sky Woman has definitely blessed us. Creators took care of us, and we're in a good place. And we can't wait to be back on the podcast. Ron, thank you for digging in my behind to get out here and get doing this again. Ron has been like my cheerleader. Is like, let's get back on, Pat. Let's get back on. And I'm kind of like, I'm trying. I got so much going on, and now I'm in a place that we can get back doing it again.
I have a different approach with people when you're with me. I like I said, I don't mean to rub people the wrong way, folks. My voice is the voice that I got from my parents. It's genetics. You know what I mean? And sometimes I get that, and I don't want to talk like that no more. I'm really trying to change my dialect because I really want to be more of somebody that's approachable, and I want to hit a 25,000 person night. You know what I mean? Yeah, we have people on right now, but I feel like we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I don't want to take up any more time, especially if your wife getting on. But like I said, we're going to discuss this Saturday. We'll let everybody know what the time is. We'll set it up, and everybody will be able to check in with us. And we really want you guys to enjoy the rest of your night. And Pat, I know it's already 10:31 out there right now.
Yeah, it's 10:30, and the baby just got laid down, so she gave me the look like, hey, baby's put down. I need the laptop.
You give him smooches for Uncle, because
I certainly will. I'll bring him on. I'll bring him on next Saturday. I'll bring him on, and everybody can see my little man.
Good. Yeah. I'm gonna play my cut, and we're not playing the anthem on the way out. I've been playing this track. This kid, his name is Swisher Sleep. When we get out of here, but the song is titled Rabbit Hole. He's a hip hop artist from Seattle. My brother Nicholas produced this track. Nice. I think I played it a couple of times before, but I'm being like a major radio station because this guy deserves some accolades, man. But we'll be seeing you guys Saturday, and definitely stay in touch with us. Like I said, if you have anything you want to send to B&B, you got show ideas or any suggestions, questions, comments, concerns, don't forget to hit us up. B&B.
Topics. We're always looking for topics. Right. If you got a topic that needs to be talked about that you feel is important, you got a powwow coming up, you want to put a shout out, let us know. Right. If you got special guests that you'd like to see on the show, Fabian, we want you back. We need to bring you back, man, and have you sing us a couple songs.
Dude, we need to have him back on here, too, so he can talk about his business. He's been doing some cool stuff, too. But we'll be seeing you Saturday, y'all.
All right. Peace. Love y'all.
Round and round it go, round and round it go.